Good morning. Automated provisioning and management of FHIR servers. It's a mouthful. Hi, I'm Jaideep Majumdar. I'm the development manager for IRIS for Health, Health Connect, and the cloud versions of all of those. I know you have a lot of choices this morning to attend a lot of different sessions, so I appreciate everyone who's here. Thank you. So what do you want to do? Do you want to create and manage FHIR servers without using a UI? Scale to create and manage hundreds of FHIR servers without hundreds of clicks. Well, if that's all you're doing, that's fine. But usually, FHIR is not that easy. You have custom packages that you need to load. Can you guess? US core, Australia core. Different countries have their own customizations, profiles. You want to do that. And you want to ensure that all of your FHIR servers have the same setup. You don't want half of your servers to have one kind of profile and the other ones a different profile just because you forgot a few clicks. So you want to script it all up using your infrastructure as code scripts. And dare I say it, you can build your own custom applications to set it up. You can write your own code. If any of these things interest you, you're at the right place. Welcome. So, I want to introduce you to FHIR management APIs. These are REST APIs, and you can use them to provision, customize, delete, and get information about FHIR servers, and not to be confused with FHIR APIs, which are used to manage data, access data in your FHIR servers. I think I got a little carried away with the colors over there. Okay, start with the basics. REST APIs need a base route. And the base route here is the CSP FHIR Management API. And in the rest of this presentation, all the routes that I will be showing you, it's going to be relative to that base route. So I'll go through some of the steps of what we are going to be doing if you want to create a FHIR server. First thing, where will you build the FHIR server? Which namespace are you going to use? For those who are already familiar with FHIR servers, InterSystems FHIR servers, you know that we require a foundation namespace. So we have an API to make it easy for you to find that. It's called get namespaces, and it's going to return you the set of namespaces out of all of the different ones that you have where you can actually build a FHIR server. Once you know that, the rest is easy. REST APIs. To create a FHIR server, follow REST very closely. You post a message. By the way, we call them FHIR endpoints. That's why the route is /endpoints. You post it. As parameter, you say what namespace to build it on. You put in a bunch of information in the body of your post. And voila. In a little bit of time, the FHIR server will be built. I will be giving you a demo. You don't have to take my word for it. So we'll see it in action in a little bit. Because, you know, REST APIs are boring. They typically tend to be create, update, which is a put. Again, same set of parameters. A delete a FHIR server. And, of course, Nothing is complete without being able to get some information about the FHIR servers. We have two of them, two flavors. One lets you get you information about all the FHIR servers in your Iris instance. Notice that you can have many. Don't have to be just limited to one. But then you can also get information about a specific one. Now, FHIR servers, as you can imagine, there's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes to create things. So it's a long-lived job. So when you kick it off, we did not design the APIs to kind of hold you up. The way it happens is that it kicks it off, runs it as a background job, gives you back a job ID that you can then use to monitor it, so that you can see, well, what are all the jobs running? Oh, what's the status of my specific job? Is it done? And so on. By the way, our UI uses the same set of APIs, and I will show you later today how we utilize that. Managing custom packages. That's what typically you have to do to make these things more useful. Now, our FHIR server, out of the box, comes with the US core. Without doing anything, you get that for free, whether you want it or not. But you can have the ability to add other profiles to meet your needs. And so again, predictably, to create, you have a post. Any guesses? It's /packages is our out because you are creating packages. And of course, if you don't need that package, you can just delete them. Again, delete packages, specific package, and you're done. Well, you will also want to get some information about those packages. What do you have on your FHIR server? So there's a route for listing all the packages that you have. But then you may be interested in, oh, is my package in there? Well, there's a route for that too. Get information about your package that you need. An empty FHIR server is usually not very useful. So let's load some data into it. We have some APIs to let you load some data. When you first create it, you may want to try out with some synthetic data. Later on, you may want to load up, get rid of all that synthetic data, load up with real data. But we have data loader jobs that make it easy. Because this FHIR server, the loading is designed to kind of not just work on-prem, but is also designed to work remotely, like in the cloud. So we made it a 3-step process, because you set up a job, data loader job, then you tell it as a second step which are the files to load from your machine or some other location. And then third step, you kick off the job. So in the process behind the scenes, all these files are sent over the wire to wherever it is, and your FHIR server is residing. It could be on your desktop, laptop, or it could be in the cloud. And the data is going to get loaded in the process. The API makes it easy for you. You don't have to take care of all of those details. And again, you may want to get the status of all your jobs and say, oh, how's my loading completed? Well, in my demo, some of those jobs complete so quickly before I can even look at the job list that they were done. But long jobs, you may want to say, okay, wait for it. And you also have the ability to cancel a job if you need to. Okay, that's the boring stuff is done. Demo time. Let's jump into that. Okay. Hopefully this will work. Yeah, it's running. I started off with an empty FHIR server, and I'm using a Postman to do the demo here. I first go and check that, yep, there is no FHIR server. I want to find out where I can build my FHIR server. I ran a query, told me that I've got a namespace called API space. I can create my FHIR server there. And then I go and I am going to create my FHIR server. I set it all up before. Here's my payload. I've got a namespace, API space. And I run it, and it gives me back a background job. There's a job that is going to be loading up, creating my FHIR server, setting up all the data structures and everything. And I can look at the status of those jobs. And oh, by the way, our UI, as I mentioned, it uses our same APIs. So it's also getting the status. After a little while, the job completes. My FHIR server is built. The job's disappeared. And when we look at the information about the FHIR server, in the UI, it shows that, hey, it's there, it's online, it's got no resources. So let me go and load up some data into that resource. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, it's a 3-step job. First, I set up a new job. Now I've assigned a file name. Here, this file happened to be on my laptop. And I said, okay, the job is still not run. We had still got 0 resources. And now I kick off the job itself. Oh, the job completed even before I just clicked it. It was a small, one patient, but well, I've got 319 resources in the FHIR server now. And I can look at it either through the UI, expand it, or I can go over to my API, Postman, run the query, look at the output. This is information about my FHIR server, and it tells me, hey, there are 319 resources in there, just as the UI said, and here are all the different resources that are there. Note that the data, it's not showing any data because this is not the FHIR API. The administrator does not have access to the data. The administrator has information about the data. You're managing the FHIR server. Now I'm loading up some packages, and I got some information about the package, but I'm looking at, I tried an Australia base. Looking at it, oh, my FHIR server does not have it. It came with some other packages that I was not interested in. So let me load up some package here, and I run the API. It says it's done. And voila. Now is query for that same package is there. And that allows you to do the work you need for your environment. And if I don't need it, I can get rid of it. Just run it, and it's gone. And finally, after all of these things are done, I can go and I can do other things to the FHIR server. Agreed that these are not very common, but you may need to deactivate a FHIR server for maintenance purposes. Remember, it's not deactivating your database or your namespace. It's just a FHIR server so that you don't do FHIR activity. And then, if you need to, you can reset the FHIR server by getting rid of all the data. I mentioned you could load it up with synthetic data, and then you get rid of it, and you get it ready for production. So you can just run a query, another API call, and it's going to empty it out for you. One final step. We started at the beginning with a clean slate. We had no FHIR servers. Just want to, okay, let's wait for this to finish. I want to clean up what we had. Like we created a FHIR server, we did a bunch of work, and now we delete the FHIR server. Oh, sorry. I could not see my screen very well. It was showing some of the data loader jobs and other things that you were trying to do. And now, finally, we have reset our FHIR server, and it's time to delete my clinical server. I think I left a little too much time on my hand here. Okay. So this is the final set of things. Oh, the jobs. The jobs was like, this is something that the UI has been doing. So you've often seen that the jobs have disappeared, but there's an API for clearing up completed jobs. That API has safety built into it, such that if your jobs are still running, it's not going to delete those. It's just going to look for completed jobs, and that completes the demo. Takeaways: IRIS for Health and our cloud-based FHIR as a service provide you APIs to create, provision FHIR servers, update them, delete them, all of those. They can help you provision large-scale deployments because you may need different FHIR servers. You may have many namespaces and large setups. You can set it all up. You will have the ability to load up your custom packages, as I showed you, and load up some data to make it useful. Everything without using the UI. You script it all up and forget about it. Run your script and forget about it. Should work. What could go wrong? Questions, anyone? Please, just a second. Just going to get you a mic.
In that, in that Postman UI, I didn't notice any sort of authentication method. I'm assuming these APIs have some sort of security behind them.
Yes. It's all OAuth based security. We also support basic auth in this, but we also have the OAuth. So both methodologies are supported.
Hi. So what version this is actually available? Is it available right now, or is it coming up in a newer versions? These API endpoints.
Sorry, I could not make out the question. I could not hear the sound very well.
Sorry. So what version of IRIS are these endpoints available? Are these available right now, or are these coming up in a newer version?
No, these are all available. We actually released it in 2024.2. And now we have tested these APIs in our cloud versions as well, and they work fine. Yeah, you can use them right now.
Oh, okay, good to know. And one more question. So when you say we can load some synthetic data, right, using the data loader jobs, like do we always have to give it a file, or like does it has capability to automatically load some data based on some existing patients you already know? Yeah, I mean some dummy data, right?
Yeah.
So,
what I was showing you is a data loader job. That is file based. It's one or more files. Now, how you can use the data loader jobs in different ways. You could be using our bulk file coordinator to download files from another FHIR server, and they could be brought in as a file. and then you can load up the data using the data loader. That's one way of doing it. Of course, the other way could be that you have different files and you're converting them over and you're bringing them in from, say, HL7, and you convert them and you've got FHIR files. You can do it that way. But this is one of the various ways in which you can get data into our FHIR server. As you know, we have FHIR APIs to load data into the FHIR server. We also have integrations through our interoperability, where you can bring in data from, say, HL7, convert it over, and then it will integrate with your FHIR server and bring in the data. So this is one of many ways you can bring the FHIR data in.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
I'm at time. Thank you very much. I appreciate your attendance. Take care and have a good day, everyone.